All right, good evening, everyone. It's Dr. Sean, the physical therapy application coach here with Enrique. How we doing, brother?
Hey, pretty good. How about yourself, Sean?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Thanks for taking the time to come on and to share your pre-PT experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for
It's an
having me.
awesome story. I'm going to let you get into it. So go ahead and take us back. What led you to decide to become a future physical therapist?
Oh man, yeah. So I started UNLV about August 2017, so fall 2017. Before that, I just transitioned out of the Marine Corps. November of 2016, I moved to Vegas. And I started working, got into a pretty good job working for Wyndham Vacation Ownership. And I kind of realized, I was like, man, I kind of want more, I just don't want to be confined to a cubicle all day, which, I mean, there's nothing really wrong with it. But I mean, I just, just was kind of getting burnt out. And so I decided to go back to school and enroll at UNLV, and I had no idea where to start. But recovering from a torn labrum that I got boxing in the Marines, I was inspired by the rehabilitation process. And then I didn't even know what physical therapy was. I thought it was just rehab, which, I mean, it is rehab, but I mean, I didn't know exactly what physical therapy entailed.
Right.
And so I was pretty inspired, by my physical therapist, Dan Gross. And I definitely have to give a shout out to the PTA, Cindy Stern. They were really great. And yeah, they were just a really, really great team there on Camp Pendleton. And so, yeah, they rehabbed me back to normal and pretty much got back in the ring. And then, but unfortunately, I don't box anymore because I kind of value my brain. So I think after a couple concussions, you're just like, oh man, and the scary part is I've never been knocked out before. So I think I've had a couple episodes of second impact syndrome, which I've learned, through undergrad in my kinesiology curriculum. So yeah, I didn't really know I wanted to be a physical therapist. And then they said it was a doctorate program, my first ever advisor meeting. And I was kind of taken back. I was like, oh man, it's a doctorate. Like, oh man, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I kind of settled, and I decided to just go the athletic training route. And after like 2 semesters, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, I got like, I'm doing pretty good at this, so let's get back on the pre-PT route. And
Sure.
so got back on the pre-PT route and just kept the discipline and focused mindset. And it's really all it was, man. Just staying on track. And what I always say is like, you're only going to get out of it what you put into it, man. I think at least I tried to put in 110% the entire time. So
Sure. Sure. So one of the first things that I remember you talking to me about when we had our first meeting, right? Um, was how you kind of got kicked to the curb right when COVID hit, right?
yeah,
And you're like, everything just kind of got thrown into disarray.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
you talked about like discipline and sticking to it, and up until that point, like totally, you were on point. Everything was going, in the right clip, and then COVID happened,
Yeah,
right? Talk me through that. Talk me through how you handled it, how you adapted and overcame.
yeah, yeah. That was definitely some adversity that we had to face. Like we all did. And I remember you telling me, you're like, hey, stay cool, man. A lot of these schools are going to adjust. And I just been laid off from my new tech job that I got after like 2 weeks. And I only had a couple dozen hours of observation at an inpatient subacute care facility and at the VA. And so I was like, man, I don't even have like 50 hours of observation, like 50 hours of observation / clinical hours. I was like, this is, and you're like, hey, I remember you telling me, you're like, just stay on track, stay focused, and take care of what you can right now. And so I did exactly that. I just kept grinding, kept chugging, kept getting, uh, like the application ready, the essays ready, and stuff like that. So and then everything just kind of fell into place. Towards the end of April, we all were brought back at my outpatient clinic, and so I stayed there for about 13 months. And so everything kind of just fell into place. And so at the time though, I gathered the letter of recommendations that I could. So I got all those, and then after I think about like in June, we were brought back in April. So in June is when I got the PT recommendations, the 2 PT recommendations. So yeah, everything just kind of fell into place. but you just couldn't give up hope. And I mean, you can't really just think, the world comes crashing down when, one thing happens or you're faced with a little bit of a challenge. You just got to keep one foot in front of the other, I'd say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thanks for sharing that. I know it was a tough time for everybody in different ways, right?
Yeah.
And I think the thing that doesn't change is your focus on your goal, right? Like what the circumstances around you, they're going to change. And even when you get into PT school, right? And like when you start PT school, because you're into PT school, man, you're we don't have to talk about that. It's theoretical now. That's a real thing. So that's awesome. But when you start class, right? Like you're gonna have this ideal of like, oh, I'm gonna memorize everything, I'm gonna get A's on everything, I'm gonna be the best, right? And then life happens, and things happen, and maybe you don't grasp certain concepts like you thought you would, and your goal is still to be the best PT you can be, and that doesn't mean that everything is gonna go perfectly. It's just a matter of sticking to it. And I think this experience with COVID is kind of like, it's a little microcosm for your PT school experience and your career. Like things are going to get thrown your way that you have little to no control over. And as long as you keep doing what you can to move towards your goals, good things come your way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I completely agree with that.
So let's get to more of the fun part. So you finish applying, you send off your applications. First of all, where did you apply to? And then what did you hear back leading up to the
Okay, so I'm kind of a little bit unique. I'm going to be honest. As you know, I wasn't too excited or too thrilled or a big fan of taking the GRE. And so I kind of put it off, and I researched a list of schools that don't require the GRE or they waive the GRE. And Ohio State, which is a lot of people's dream school, were like, they waived the GRE. And so did the University of Michigan. So I was like, oh man, those are cool. Those are two good schools. So instantly I sent an application to them, and I sent them both in September. And then I applied to Western University, which is a School of Health Sciences, which is based out of Pomona, California. And they actually got a really, really good program. They're a really good School of Health Sciences. And automatically, I was disqualified because my AMP1 prerequisite was too old. I had done it back in spring of 2012, even though I had just taken AMP2 in spring of 2018. And so they couldn't really give me an exception for that. And
oh, shoot.
I was like, I just did physics 1 and 2, man. And I got an A in those. I was like, we're going to have to learn anatomy anyways, our first semester in PT school all over again. That's all we learned. So
yeah,
they couldn't really make an exception. So Ohio State and Michigan were good to go. And then I submitted it to UNLV, University of St. Augustine, and Idaho State University. And they all required the GRE, but they would allow you to submit it at a later time. And again, with my AMP1, UNLV, and I would say UNLV was probably my top 3, maybe even tied for top 1, my top school. And they said there was a problem with my AMP1, and they said I was missing a lab. And I tried to explain, and I was like, hey, there's 4 credits on the transcript right here. And they would have given me a chance to explain and submit documentation, other than the fact that I don't have a syllabus from spring of 2012. And I was like, man, you know what? I was like, I can't. I applied to other schools too, and I was like, I got to keep going through this. So I kind of pulled my application through UNLV, and then Idaho State and St. Augustine. Yeah, that's right. We're the only ones left. And they were really lenient. They said I could submit the GRE next month in June of 2021. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll just do that and kind of focus on school, which I don't recommend anyone doing. If I have a bit of advice, take the GRE as soon as you can. So anyways, I get an email from Ohio State saying that I've been selected for an interview. And I was like, holy crap, man, this is wow. I was not expecting that. I just wanted to say, I just wanted to put in an application to Ohio State to say, oh, I applied to Ohio State for kicks and gigs, you know?
Yeah, right.
I was like, when people are like, oh, where all did you apply to? You know, later on down the road after I'm a PT, you know, like talking to techs, I can be like, yeah, I submitted an application at Ohio State. But now I'll be able to say I got interviewed at Ohio State, and I interviewed pretty well, and I got waitlisted. And Michigan didn't require any interviews. They didn't do interviews, but their essays were really, really long. You write about 3 to 4 essays that are like 4,000 characters, I think. And they were really, yeah. So, and they really get to know you about, it's definitely some moral and ethical essay type based questions. So they really get to know you right there. But Ohio State, yeah, that was a shocker. That was a good experience in itself. And yeah, so I got waitlisted at both in December time. Was it? Yeah, December. Come December, I got waitlisted at both. So I was kind of just feeling a little stagnant. And I liked how Ohio State, though, they updated me probably every time you'd move on the wait list significantly, they'd update you. So at first they were updating me like once a week. And then actually it was last month, the director emailed me and said, you are number 9 on the wait list. Class starts in less than 2 months. If offered a spot, would you take it? And automatically, instantly, I said, yeah, I would. And I asked him, I was like, if offered, do you know like a time frame? And I kind of felt for the guy. He replied back to me with a very long email venting his frustrations about the current application cycle and how deadlines aren't matching up to what they were like years before, given like, you know, we're in the middle of a pandemic. He's like, so I'm sorry, because of all this and all these circumstances, I just don't know when I'd be able to offer you.
Yeah.
I just can't tell you.
Nothing is certain.
Yeah. And I was like, oh man. And then, so I was like, well, all right. And then I got an email from him saying that I was number 5 on the wait list and the wait list had closed, or well, it wasn't moving anymore. Like everyone in their class had paid their deposits, it was stable. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to email Michigan, even though I just heard from them at the end of February. And so, which was a month and a half ago, you know, back when I emailed them, and seeing that I was number 5 on the wait list, I was like, whoa, this is something crazy. Okay. This might actually, like, you know, I might have a good shot. So I emailed the administrative guy back, and I asked them, I was like, am I in a good spot to receive an offer given that class starts in August? He said, yes, I would say you're in a good spot, which I was thinking that too, but just wanted some reassurance. And then sure enough, the week later I got the offer. So.
Well, cool, man. You did it. You persevered through all those email chains and you got it. You got in. So when you start at University of Michigan?
August 24th. And then I'll probably move to Michigan here from Las Vegas, probably August 1st, because I'm the type that likes to take my time and settle in. Still haven't decided. I'm definitely probably going to have to get a U-Haul. I got way too much stuff, so I'll drive a U-Haul across country. But I still haven't decided whether I want to ship my car, which will cost like $1,100, or if I want to tow it in a U-Haul. U-Haul will give you a car trailer. You just put your car on the trailer and strap it down. But I don't know if I want to really tow my car across country.
You did that, and it's not a bad option.
No.
I mean, you're gonna have to go slow.
Yeah. Regardless, even if I was in the U-Haul, yeah, I'd still go slow. So.
Right, but saves you $1,100. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's like the trailer is like $50 or $60.
Yeah.
But take it for what it's worth.
Yeah.
This isn't like a little dolly, right? Where you've only got the 2
wheels.
No,
like you drive your car on the trailer.
Okay, good. Yeah, because that one's the best one. Yeah. Yeah. So you could do it. It's not not as bad as it seems.
No, yeah.
We did that when we moved from Vegas to Arizona. So man, Vegas to Michigan, I have no idea. That's like a 3-day, 3-day drive.
Well, GPS says if I do it straight, it'll take like 1 day and 3 hours.
Really?
Like 27 hours, 2,000 miles. Yeah. So I was like, nah. I was like, yeah, it'll take like 3 days. You figure like 10 hours of driving. I'll do 10 hours of driving a day, no more. You know, I'll actually go off of Department of Transportation and CDL, what they go off of. You know, those are the real drivers, you know, going across country and stuff. So follow what they do.
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, cool, man. That's exciting. So let's talk about our last two questions. So
Yeah, absolutely.
tell people about why your experience with physical therapy application coach and why you feel like people should use it.
Yeah, man, I was really lost and I didn't know where to start, and I was coming up. And I'll tell everyone right now, wherever you are in your journey, it's going to come really, really quick. And before you know it, it's going to be time to apply, and you're going to be like, where do I start? It was actually a little overwhelming at first, and I wasn't, I discovered you through, I was part of the pre-physical therapy club at UNLV, and they're fan favorites of you. Obviously
Yeah,
we have you,
I
we have
love
you there every
love
semester.
PTs.
LKD, yeah.
Yeah.
So we have you there. We have you there every semester.
Yes.
Um, and so, but I missed the meeting, and they're like, "Yeah, this guy helps you with the application," and I was like, "I need this guy. Like, this is awesome." And yeah, it was coming up, and I thought it was just a great experience. Like, you gave me an outline of where I needed to start, and because I didn't know where to start, and you kind of gave me you gave me a good course, and a strategy of approach. I would say, everything was strategical and to the T. Like everything was pretty clear cut, crisp, and to the point. You didn't beat around the bush, and there was there really was no if or then scenarios. Everything was clear cut, like, hey, this is what needs to be done, and if you can't do this, then let me know and we'll figure something out. So
Well, cool. Cool. Yeah, and we helped you out with just general application and also with your essay, and I think it was basically the same deal.
yeah, with the essay.
Give
Yeah,
you give you feedback and you ran with it and you put
yeah,
it into practice.
yeah. I think your essay, tailoring that essay to the prompt, that's really valuable information and skills that you have, and I think students, well, I mean, I'm not sure. I know a lot of students are grateful, me including one of them. That essay is key. That essay is really, really key, and I think they really look at that essay more than anything on anything of the application, because I asked somebody. I was talking to so what I liked about St. Augustine too is like they would reach out and stuff before, and someone like an advisor, an application advisor would reach out and tell you, hey, this is what you can do to strengthen your application right now, or this is what you're missing. But they said she was saying that, like, I had a really great essay, and it's usually the first thing that they look at in
Wow.
an application
Well,
cycle.
that's cool, man. That's
So
good feedback to see like, hey,
yeah, yeah. So there's something for
yeah,
people.
there's a little tidbit, right? So, and I think the only thing that we did was we gave you something authentic for you
Yeah,
that showed what was awesome about you, right? And
yeah,
it's not rocket science. It's just we give you an opportunity to, in a compelling way, show why you would be an asset to that program.
yeah,
And the only way we can do that is through sharing your life experiences, right?
yeah,
You can
absolutely.
sit there and yip yap about, well, this is what I think physical therapy is, and what a good, like,
Yeah,
show me what that actually looks like in your life. So awesome job with that, and that's great feedback. Um, Last question, and then I'll let you run off and do whatever it is you do now that you're in physical therapy school and you're just waiting.
yeah, yeah. I think I'm
um,
gonna go get Blaze Pizza tonight, man.
There you go.
Yeah. They're truly masters of their craft there.
You tell them that. Thank you. Thank you so much for this. Um, so what would be your one piece of advice to pre-PTs that are coming up this application cycle?
Oh man, yeah, this is awesome. Start early, start everything early. Think of who you want to write you, not just letters of recommendation. As you always say, Sean, strong letters of recommendation. Who is going to be in your corner, like for this, like that you're going to have, like, because these people are going to be with you the whole application cycle. I mean, these are the people that are going to get you into school. So really start thinking about who you want to have write you your letters of recommendation. Definitely have it mapped out where you want to do your observation hours. Inpatient is a must, even if it's 8 hours. I think I had a total of 11, 4 at the VA and 7 at a subacute. So even if it's just 8 7 8 hours inpatient, just it shows initiative, because it's not that easy to get into inpatient for observation. So that and peds for sure. If you can get into peds, then do definitely get into peds. and don't procrastinate on anything, especially with the GRE. I got lucky and got by without taking the GRE, but I don't recommend that to anybody. Definitely start with those early. Your letters of recommendation and the GRE. You really don't know what the essay prompt is really going to be, but I mean, why. The reason why you want to become a physical therapist is not going to change. So definitely find it true deep down your core why you want to be a physical therapist and help people. Because I mean, you're doing this, and I think the reason why I did it is because serving as a Marine, you're doing something bigger than yourself. You're doing something for your country and and your brother to the left and to the right of you. And I think that's the thing with physical therapy. You're doing something greater than yourself, and you're never going to know who you're going to leave an impact on, just like as the physical therapist and rehab team that I had. So
Absolutely. Well, thanks, Enrique. That's huge. There's so
yeah,
many good pieces of advice there, and I know someone will listen to your story and they'll either find themselves in the same place or somewhere that they can be inspired.
yeah,
So thank you for taking
yeah,
the time to
absolutely,
share your
yeah,
story.
and yeah, one more thing too, and
Yeah,
remember, I definitely for the pre-PT, definitely don't stress about what you have no control over. Definitely though, take advantage of what you do have control over. So, because the application cycle, it's definitely a rocky one. You'll find your speed bump. So,
awesome. Great plug there. Well, Enrique, we'll have to do a follow up, see how things are going in Michigan. Did you survive
yeah.
the first Michigan winter?
Yeah, definitely. I know we get rain here in Vegas, man. It's like my tires don't work on my car on the road. So
You'll be fine. You'll get used to those like freezing ice storms. Yeah. I don't know Michigan geography like at all. So I
I,
have no idea where Flint is. Is it close to the Great
it's
Lakes?
about north. It's about so yeah, that's another thing for Michigan School of Health Sciences. They have a satellite campus, like a lot of other main universities, and their health sciences satellite campus is in Flint, which is about 54 minutes north of Detroit. And I want to say it's only about an hour away from Ann Arbor.
Okay,
So
I gotcha. So it's still kind of close to the
yeah, still
Great
pretty
Lakes.
close
Yeah,
to it. Yeah.
gotcha.
So
Okay, cool. All right. Well, thanks, man. Best of luck with everything. Please let us
thank you,
know if you
Sean.
need anything else. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.